What's up? Welcome. I am so glad you are here listening and spending time with me today. Release Your Inner Power talks about life, the trenches, the decisions, and the wins that we have now, today, and that have experienced in our past. There are stories, encouragement, tools, and tips to take those next steps to release that inner power and connect with something that is said or someone, a special guest maybe, that will boost your week. I am your host, Shauna B. Here we go. Welcome back to Release Your Inner Power and Boost Your Week with Ignited Decisions. I'm Shauna B., your guide to building a life that feels more balanced, more happy, and more you. Today, we're talking about something that's on everybody's mind at this time of year. We're going to talk a little bit about reflection, celebration, and planning for what's to come in 2025. Now, I know this season can come with so many mixed emotions. And maybe you feel proud of the things that you've accomplished, or maybe you feel like the year just flew by and you're wondering, what did I even do this last year? What even happened? Well, don't worry. You're not alone, because sometimes, I feel like I'm in a time warp and I think that it's been maybe 2 days and it's been like 2 weeks. And I'm like, what? Did that really just happen that fast? My timeline is it's so wackadoo. But today I'm going to walk you through a simple but powerful process to do those reflections on how far you've come and celebrate those wins, big or small, and get really, really intentional about what is next. What do you want your 2025 to look like? What do you want your next month to look like? What do you even want your next week to look like? So grab a notebook, maybe something to drink, and then let's dive in together. Let's get started, right? Let's start with reflection. It's really, really easy to forget things that we've accomplished because let's be honest, we are busy. We are go, go, go. Life is moving very quickly, and we rarely stop, slow down, take a pause to acknowledge what's been done that's different, that we've learned, that we've experienced, that we've stuck a toe in, right? Along our way, along this last year, if you will. But today, my friends, we're going to change that. I want you to think back where you were 12 months ago. Where were you 12 months ago? What challenges did you face head on that required maybe a little bit more of, courage and being brave, or maybe you had to keep going and keep going and keep going? Maybe there were some changes. What changes, big or small, have you made in your personal life, or maybe even with your job, with your professional life? Don't just think about like the really obvious big things like big promotions or a new job or major things that have happened, moving or, any of that kind of big life event stuff. I want you to also notice the little teeny shifts, the little teeny changes. Maybe you set stronger boundaries and said no when you needed to, or finally, I'm prioritizing my health. You're prioritizing your body and getting healthy and changing those things. Those are all wins too. So if you have a notebook, write down a list of these moments. Call it your wins list for 2024. Call it your celebratory list of 2024. And if you're listening on the go, just reflect on it mentally for now. You can always head back to that notebook later. But I'll give you a quick, pausey moment, if you will, just to think about it. Now remember, growth and change doesn't always have to be so loud and big. It's often really quiet and small, steady, and only really obvious to us when we look back, when we take the second to pause, when we turn around to see, how far we've actually come. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I didn't do enough this year, I promise you, you did. I promise you, you did. Your growth just may look a little different than you expected. And that's totally okay. That's totally okay. So now that you've looked back on your growth, how far you've come, it's time to freaking celebrate, right? It's a time to be like, heck yeah, I did that. Yes, I said celebrate. I know it can feel weird, awkward sometimes, especially if you're used to focusing on maybe what you didn't do or what you still need to do. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that today. Today, we're giving ourselves permission to, heck yeah, cheer ourselves on. Give us a little yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. Imagine if a friend told you all the things that they accomplished this year. You would probably be their hype girl. You'd probably hype them up. Yeah, man, that was so good. I'm so proud of you. Heck yeah, that's what you did. That's what good job for you, and all of those things. You would be their biggest cheerleader. So let's do that for ourselves. Take a look at the wins list that you made in that notebook and ask yourself, which of these accomplishments felt the most meaningful to me? What strengths or things did I tap into to make these wins happen? Which of these wins would I have never believed was possible a year ago? For example, this podcast for me, I started a year ago. And if you would have told me that I would have even started a podcast, I probably would have been like, you crazy. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And it's still here. It is still here a year from now. I can't even tell you. I should probably have pulled it up with how many countries it's reached, how many cities, how many downloads, how many people have reached out and said that they have loved this, that it has helped them. And thank you for posting this episode, or reached out to the guests and thanked them for sharing their stories. It has been amazing. It has been amazing. And sometimes we focus on so much of what the next goal is that we don't even give ourselves, right, credit for how far we've actually made it, how far we've come. And if you're like me, you might be in a space of yeah, I did that, but it wasn't a big deal. A lot of times we can do that, right? We can minimize, oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but let me stop you right there. If it mattered to you, if it required effort, if it required you to stick a toe in, or maybe intentionally planned something, or intentionally made out a schedule or an appointment for whatever, that is a big deal. Period. That is a big deal. So here is my challenge for you. I want you to pick one win from this year, and I want you to share it. Share it with a friend, share it with, social media, or share it with me. Send me a DM on Instagram or comment on this episode. I want to hear what your wins are. Let's see how many wins we can post on this episode so we can celebrate all of them. Because when you share your wins, it reminds others also what they can do, what they can accomplish. You kind of become an example on what is actually possible, and it starts that ripple effect and gives people a little ignited flame, if you will, on, oh, I can do that, right? So don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it to yourself. Saying it, celebrating it, saying it out loud, sharing it is also celebrating. It helps you kind of boost yourself, boost other people, ignite that flame, stoke that fire. So don't keep it to yourself, okay? All right. Now that we've reflected and celebrated, it's time to look forward. I am all for goal setting, but I'm going to challenge you to approach this a little bit differently this year. Instead of a list of shoulds and checked boxes and obligations. I want you to create a list based on what you truly want and your intentions. Goals are great, but I found that intentions keep us more connected to the experience that we want to have. So here's how we can do it. Okay, I'm going to walk you through this. Number 1, I want you to start with a question. What do I want to experience more of next year? Think about it. What do you want to feel more of? Do you want to feel more calm? Do you want to feel more free? Do you want to feel more heck yeah? Do you want to feel more confident? Do you want to feel more adventure, excitement? Do you want to just feel like you have more time for yourself? Write those down. Number 2, next, set a guiding word for the year. I know this sounds simple, but picking a word like ease, calm, courage, consistent can really help you stay on track for the year. Your word becomes more of a filter, right? So for every decision you make, if it doesn't align with your word, you know that it's not the right move. It helps you kind of keep yourself accountable, if you will, right? For asking yourself that question. Now, finally, I want you to pick one action step, just one, just a toe stick in, one action step that you can take in January to move towards the experience that you want. It doesn't have to be like this massive, huge leap. It can be totally small, sticking a toe in. Small steps are really, really where the magic happens, okay? Let me give you an example. If you want to feel more calm and centered, your word might be peace. An action step might be to create a 10-minute morning routine where you sit in silence, journal, or meditate. That one small action could create a ripple effect throughout your year. If you want more excitement and adventure, your word might be bold. An action step might be planning one solo adventure every month, something fun, new, maybe a little scary, like that nervous, excited feeling, right? It doesn't have to be a huge adventure. It could be a small little adventure that you want to take. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need like 100 goals for 2025, right? You just need a few clear intentions and simple actions. So let me ask you this. What's one word you want to guide your year in 2025? Take a moment to think about it, write it down, say it out loud. And if you feel like sharing, I would love to hear your word. Reach out to me or leave it in the comments for this episode so we can see what each other's cool 2025 words. All right, friends, let's recap for today. So we reflect on how far that you've come, celebrated the wins that you've achieved, and created a fresh outlook on planning for your next year. If you take nothing else from this episode, I just want you to take this, that your growth counts. Even if it doesn't look like the way that you thought it would, and your wins are worth celebrating, no matter how big or small they are. Your next year doesn't have to be about hustle and pressure and go and do. It can totally be about intention, sticking a toe in, and just sticking a toe in, and reminding yourself, is this what I want? Okay. And your next year doesn't have to be about hustle and bustle and pressure and doing the things and go, go, go. It can be about intention, sticking toes in, slowing down, checking in with yourself. Okay? Here's an action step. Take 10 minutes this week, just 10 minutes, to reflect, look back, celebrate. What is that word for 2025? What do I want 2025 to look like? And if you're up for it, share the word with me. Send me a message. I love hearing stories. I love hearing the responses from these episodes. If you are looking for more guidance on how to set your intentions for the new year, I totally got you. Check the show notes for a link for my free 4 steps to clear your mind and get things done. It is a little audio. That's a walkthrough. It's a guide. It's a perfect tool to kick off for a fresh start. Also in January, there's going to be a workshop It's going to be on January 16th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a workshop. If you are like, how do I even start? Where do I even begin? I want this year to look new, but do I know where to stick my toe in? You keep saying that, lady, but I don't really know where I want to do that. That's okay. I have got a workshop. It's about 35 minutes, and then it's open up for questions. It's live on January 16th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As long as you register, you can get the replay for up to 3 days after if you cannot make it to the live. If you make it to the live, though, we can chit chat about things afterwards. It's a really good place where I'm going to show you and walk you through, give you tools in your toolbox to start your year off with a bang, to start your year off knowing even where to see and what to do for your next steps on what you want for 2025. So, thank you for joining me today. I love coming here each week for you guys. If this episode inspired you, please share it with a friend who might need it as well. And if you haven't already, hit that follow button so you don't miss our next week's episode. Here's to holding space for your growth and how far you've come and recognizing that. Celebrating your wins. Heck yeah. Way to go. And stepping into your new year with different intention and more like a purpose. So until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you're doing better than you think. See you next week. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, learned something new, or got some gems to take away that will boost your week. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to click that follow button to not miss what is coming next. If you love the show or want to share a story, send me a quick message. I love hearing from listeners. If you know someone who needs this episode in their life, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. If you are looking to connect more, check out the show notes for all the social links, my website. I would love to hear how this episode helped you and what you loved about it. If there's a topic you want to hear about, send that too. All right, ladies, now is the time to release your inner power.